We are going to get into how to choose where to buy a lakefront Airbnb. I promise you that. But right now, I'm going to take a polar plunge into the lake. And so let's do that before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Wow, was that ever chilly? I had to come inside. Anyway, since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to invest in real estate. I just didn't know where to begin. But the one thing everyone knows about real estate is
location, location, location.
Location, location, location. But how do I know what the best location is and know where is a great place to buy real estate? Well, the best real estate locations evolve and you need to know how to identify them. I'm gonna show you how. Here are 4 ways to figure out where to buy an Airbnb lake home and also some spots you're gonna wanna avoid, and make sure to stick around because I'm gonna drop in tidbits about a few real estate markets that I guarantee are not on your radar, but they should be because they are potentially gold mines. The first tool in your toolkit should be the heat map. The heat map is a super powerful tool and it shows you exactly where people are going and where they're staying and how much money they're paying to stay in different spots. Imagine not having to take a shot in the dark and try to guess where it would be most profitable for you to buy that short-term rental on the water. Well, it's out there. Heat maps have been used for a long time for different applications, but it's an incredible way to take some of the guesswork out of choosing a location. With these heat maps, we can go through cities and regions and get a feel for the traffic levels of people coming to visit these areas. Now, you might already have a location in mind, a region you know and have visited and are considering investing in, and that is just great. This tool will help you become more precise as you're creating your budget, instead of just guessing how much income you might be able to make. There are a lot of heat map tools available. Mashvisor has a good one, but make sure to not just glance at the map and look at the colors, but make sure to also check out the actual rentals listed in those areas too. Look at their occupancy rates, so what percentage of the time the property is rented and what percentage of the time it's vacant, and look at the rents the owners are getting for them. You get to see how these properties have actually performed. Whether your strategy is to buy a lake home now and rent it out when you're not using it yourself, or to buy a property at today's prices and have your guests pay for it over time and you eventually will use it yourself, but in the meantime you have this great property that is earning you money and reducing your taxable income, it's a super smart idea. And also just good business sense to choose a property in a location where you will be able to have a steady stream of guests who are coming to stay. I promise to tell you about under the radar real estate markets, and the first one is Lutsen, Minnesota. If you haven't heard of it, you're not alone, but Lutsen, which is almost 4 hours north of the Twin Cities on the shores of Lake Superior, is popular during the summer for hiking and kayaking and biking. It is a must visit during fall for watching the stunning colors when the leaves change, and during the winter because it's the largest ski mountain in Minnesota, in addition to having lots of cross-country skiing trails. Lutsen has almost 70% occupancy rate and the average annual revenue is almost $100,000. I'm connected with a fantastic local agent up there in other places as well, so click on the link in the description to get in touch with me and I will hook you up. Now, moving back to the heat map, it's so important to look at the context of the data. Who is coming to stay? Is there a university nearby? Does it have amazing weather part of the year and then seasonal winter activities the rest of the year? Does it have proximity to state or national parks? Is it close to hospitals or healthcare? Why are people coming here? The heat map is great, but now we need to dive into the numbers to understand the why behind what we're seeing, and also to double check the numbers through another source. A tool I love to utilize for this is AirDNA. Their rentalizer tool is completely free. So this is a really quick down and dirty way that I analyze a property and what kind of rental income it will bring in. The information is from Airbnb and VRBO. So the occupancy rate will show the historical occupancy rate for that property if it's currently being used as a short-term rental, or the average occupancy rate for the area, and then the average daily rate as well. This will give you a really good feel for the area you're considering and allow you to check the numbers you find against the heat map. If there's a discrepancy between the two, then you've got some additional research to do before you jump in. One important thing to keep in mind about discrepancies in data is that some short-term rental owners will use the property as a personal vacation spot as well. So if you do see a discrepancy, don't necessarily be alarmed, but make sure to dig in further to make sure you understand what you're seeing. If a property owner is using their property for even a month or two a year for their own personal use or letting their friends use it, this can skew the data massively. Okay, at this point you use the heat map and cross-reference it against the average occupancy rates and average revenue in the area, but hold up. You're not gonna run out and start house shopping yet. Yes, I know it's counterintuitive for a real estate agent to say, hang on, we're not house shopping yet. But as a real estate agent, I only win when my clients buy something they're happy with. And we need to make sure you're buying a great property. So we're going to do some more research yet. We're going to look on Airbnb to triple cross-reference all of the information you've already gathered. It contains photos, feedback, pricing, calendars, everything. We need to look at all the properties with good reviews, 4.8 and above. I'm going to check their rates every month so I can look at seasonality. I'm going to check their occupancy by opening their calendar. And most importantly, I'm going to figure out exactly what kind of properties are doing well. And then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do that is not the same, but different and better to move the traffic from their listings to my property. If I'm scrolling through Airbnb listings, analyzing a market, and I can see that the most popular listings with the most reviews and the most booked calendars are lake homes with a hot tub and a fire pit, then that is my baseline. And I'm probably gonna be making sure that I have hammocks and kayaks and stand-up paddle boards there too. Now you may be thinking, I just wanna buy a lake home that I can use with my family when it's not being rented out, so why do I have to do all of this stuff? One of the best ways to build wealth is through real estate, but you have to do your research and make sure that you're purchasing in the right location and that you're purchasing an asset and not a liability. You might be interested in creating equity in a property by expanding it or remodeling it. It comes down to you have to do your research and run the numbers and find a situation that works for you. And I'm a big fan personally of creating a plan A, Plan B, and Plan C for the property too, in case your situation changes or rules change in the community on rental lengths, or you decide you don't want to rent it out anymore. I have an awesome spreadsheet that I made that I use to analyze properties so I can outline all of the different expenses that a property will incur, including ones you may not think about, like hot tub care and a budget for repairs built in, and also project income month per month so you can see what your net will be per year. If you want a copy, reach out and I'll make sure to send you one for free. Now, YouTube is going to tell you to watch this next video, so make sure to get onto that right away and drop me a comment if you have short-term rentals, how you set yourself apart from other rentals in the area.